markets are reacting to work we've done, so I shouldn't monitor you. I should monitor what we're doing, and that's exactly what I do. The reason why the markets are going up, because the president's ignored us for 75 days. Look, I went to see the president February 1st. I sat with him. This is a guy who's a former senator who voted 4 times to raise the debt limit when they put something attached to it. The only times he voted against the debt limit, he said when they didn't do something enough to change the behavior. In 2011, it was his group that was named. It was his argument to say you can't argue not to negotiate together. A whole government's designed to find compromise. When I walked with him and sat with him, I said, look, we couldn't negotiate, and there's parameters. Let me be very clear. There's 2 things I will not do. I will not raise taxes, and I will not pass a clean debt ceiling. It just won't pass. So why don't we sit together and find ways to put us on a better path? Why don't we spend less than we spent the year before? If we just go back 7 months to 2022, is that really going to break us to October spending? Then think for a moment. The pandemic is over. You have billions of dollars that was appropriated that was not used. It lay dormant for 2 years. Did you spend it now or bring it back and have savings? If you cap the future spending, but you allow for growth, you make elected officials actually make a decision on what's wasteful and what's not. They'll prioritize the things we find important. And then what about making our country grow again? It's very hard to build something in America, is it not? So in our bill, H.R. 1, we create permitting reform, cutting red tape. So it doesn't matter what form of energy you love. Maybe you just love wind and solar. You still can't build it. What if you want to build the highway or the bridges? You wait on average 7 years. It costs too much. How are we going to compete with other countries? I think if we attach that to a debt ceiling, growing our economy, that's going to save us money in the long run. So let's make it that. I know there's a place we can come to an agreement. It's just hard when people think that there's not $1 that you can cut out of government today. No one believes that.
Good afternoon, friends. This is serious news. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is ready to sign a deal that would raise a debt ceiling for the United States. Medicare and Social Security will not be affected, but millions of Americans may see changes to their SNAP benefits. This comes as many GOP lawmakers insist that relief programs have stricter eligibility requirements. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, this coming Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dearest friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Today, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy spoke about future spending cuts. McCarthy criticized President Biden and detailed the House Republican conference plan to move forward with its own measure in the next coming weeks. This is to hold off a national default. McCarthy said in remarks at the New York Stock Exchange today, in the coming weeks, the House of Representatives will vote on a bill to lift the debt ceiling into the next year. The House Speaker added that the forthcoming plan will seek to limit federal spending, with proposals to return discretionary funding levels to 2022 levels, and then limit the growth of spending over the next 10 years to 1% of annual growth. All this will be done without touching Social Security and Medicare. McCarthy also reiterated calls for tougher work requirements as more Republicans set their sights on potential changes to the SNAP program. McCarthy stated, assistance programs are supposed to be temporary, not permanent. Negotiations between the White House and House Republicans over how to act on the debt limit, which caps how much money the Treasury Department can owe to cover the country's bills, remains at a standstill. Democrats have pushed for a clean bill to raise the debt ceiling, insisting negotiations over government spending to be carried out separately from debt limit talks. But Republicans see the debt ceiling as a leverage point to secure concessions from Democrats that could help curb spending. The party has vowed to increase fiscal discipline and carry out significant spending reforms upon reclaiming control of the House earlier this year. House GOP leaders say the conference is largely unified behind calls to pair action on the debt limit with fiscal reform. But the party faces a tall challenge in winning the 218 Republican votes necessary for passage in the lower chamber if Democrats withhold support. During an appearance on CNBC today, Kevin McCarthy was asked if he had the support of his party for his proposals. McCarthy said in response, "I think I have the support of America. We will curb inflation, and we will protect Social Security and Medicare for the next generation, and America will be stronger for it." Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has already knocked Kevin McCarthy's proposal to only raise a debt ceiling for 1 year, potentially laying the groundwork for another partisan fight over the nation's borrowing limit ahead of the 2024 presidential election. He warned, "If Speaker McCarthy continues in this direction, we are headed to default." Senator Chuck Schumer has said that he and President Biden are happy to meet with Kevin McCarthy when he actually has something to talk about. Schumer stated, "We first need to see his plan so we can start there and work to avoid catastrophic default." The U.S. Treasury Department said in January that it began to implement what it's called extraordinary measures to prevent a default after the national debt came up on roughly $31.4 trillion cap, which was set by Congress more than 1 year ago. It is still unclear when the nation will reach the so-called X date or when the Treasury will exhaust those measures. But Congress is expected to have until sometime in the summer to raise a debt limit or risk a default. Experts have warned a default could yield catastrophic effects for the economy, including raising the risk of recession and potentially a global financial crisis. And Democrats have pointed to those concerns to argue the need to raise a debt limit without any conditions. But in his comments on early Monday, McCarthy sought to put the onus on President Biden for the potential threat of a default. The debt limit was raised by Congress in late 2021, but not without a months-long game of chicken that ensnared both sides of the Senate until not long before the deadline. Well, my wonderful and amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Monday. Thank you, dearest friends, for being here and for being part of this community. I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway this coming Friday. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.